Alright, it's Super Saiyan 7 Cinders, and I'm here to bring you the first installment of my first series of videos, first video series, and this is going to be a Dragon Ball Z retro gaming type series. And we're going to start off going through the original Famicom Dragon Ball Z games. And the first one, this one here, is Dragon Ball Z Kyoshu Saiyan, or Attack of the Saiyans. And version I've got is an emulated version that is partially English. Basically, it's its introduction that's in English. Most of the rest of it comes out as gibberish. And you be ready to press your A or B, whichever it is, button very frequently. You have to do it a lot with every box for this intro, but then with every action you take during the gameplay, you're going to have to hit it every time as you move through your fights and kill people or just attack and battle people. You have to do it several times. So that gets to be a little bit annoying and tedious in this version, in this very first game. But as you see, we start off with Raditz, and we get the whole intro story of Raditz, while Goku is there visiting Master Roshi, and then he and Piccolo fly off, and the adventure begins. Now, the way the game works, we've got these cards down here, right? And you got these top circles, you got these bottom circles, and you've got these different emblems in the middle. These top circles are going to tell you how strong your attacks are. They also determine how many steps you take when you move. And you have to take exactly that many steps. So if I pick pick the 2 here, I have to move 2 steps. If I pick a 5, I'm going to call them 5-star. If I pick a 5-star, I move 5 steps. And you have 1 to 7. You actually get 1 to 8, but your 8 is no longer a number of dots or stars, whatever you want to call them. You'll have a Z like you do here, up here, and that'll be your number 8. Your highest, your strongest attack, your most number of steps. Similarly, down here, you've got your defensive stats. Your lowest being a 1, your highest being a Z. These are a little bit more complicated to follow along. They don't just stack up dots like the top ones do. You got 1 squiggly line, 2 squiggly lines, 3 squiggly lines. The next one for 4 will be a little, almost looks like an infinity symbol, or 2 Dragon Balls side by side. And that's for number 5, which I always want to think this one's 5, but this one's actually 6. Number 5 is going to look kind of like a less than or equal to sign. Then this is 6, this little star-like thing. 7 looks like a T with a little curl. And then, obviously 8 again is your Z. And then you got these middle spaces. The middle spaces are really only going to affect your battle. And that was a bad idea. That move I just made was actually a bad one. Because now, if he had gone into a battle, he would have done it without Piccolo. But it's okay for that move, because that did happen. Okay, now back to these emblems in the middle. If I'm in battle, each character has a emblem that belongs to them. And now we're in battle, I can help show you that. Goku's emblem doesn't show up here, so we'll just give him this one. But Piccolo's emblem is this symbol here, so any of these match Piccolo's emblem. They'll also match Gohan's emblem, and a couple of the bad guys match this emblem also. And what's going to happen is if you just use any card, and you'll see this right here is Goku's emblem. Later it will be that one in the second video game, but not until after he's training with King Kai. Before training with King Kai, this is Goku's symbol, and he's the only character who ever uses this symbol. Or is it the end of the... It's this game that he trained with King Kai. But for now, he's using one symbol. Later he used the other symbol. In Piccolo, he used this symbol, and what it did was... I don't know if you saw it, but he was glowing. And what that means is he actually is going to do a little bit more damage than he would have with a regular card. Now, you see Kami's house here. I could go stand on Kami's house and I would talk to Kami. But not much point to that. But there are other squares that are going to have buildings, or whatever you want to call them. These squares here, these are your like healing pods. So you get there and you restore your health and your base energy. Speaking of that, you can always check that by hitting that button there, the YCHTH whatever. That one lets you come and look at your stats, and they started off with Goku at 416 and Piccolo at 408. I thought that one orange, whatever he's called, he's not an actual Cyberman, which is why I say that. Because the Cybermen are green, and you won't face them until the very last board. But you face these orange Cybermen-like creatures, and they're worth 5 points, which is why both of them have gone up 5 points. And then you'll face a blue one, which is worth 3 points. And unlike modern games where you gain experience points, and then those experience points let you level up, and when you level up, you also then increase all your stats, including your attack strength. Your attack strength here actually goes up with every battle. You get stronger with every battle, quite literally. Now, when your base points reach a certain point, you do level up, and when you level up, you get more health, and you get more, you get a higher maximum base energy. And now I'm gonna want to hover around this thing until I can build up my energy a bit. But before I do that, I do want to show you a few other details to the game. A couple of these other special spaces. You've got this space here. It is a training space. So you land on one of these type of spaces, and you've got a couple different ways this space takes that you can train. And that space will always be the same type of training. And there are different spaces like that throughout the boards. One version of training is you take your cards here and you match them with cards that'll be up here, and you have to match one of the three, either the top, the middle, or the bottom stack. So you either need to have the 5 dots, the 6 on the bottom, or the Piccolo symbol, or whatever other symbol. And if you can match one of those up, you tack on a new point. And with that one, you have to use all 5 of your cards before you get new cards. And if you can't match it up, you fail your training and you don't get any experience at all. But depending on how strong you are, what level you are, you'll gain a multiplier of however many cards you match correctly. And to start with, you match for 1 point 1 times the number of cards. As you get stronger, get closer to 800, something like that, somewhere in that range. One of those level ups there, it switches you up to where you get a 2 times multiplier for that type of training. To get even stronger, you can get a 3, 4. Goku comes back from training with King Kai. You do want to go train him some more at that point, because he's strong enough to kick Nappa's butt, but he really isn't strong enough to do a whole lot of damage against Vegeta. So you want to go train him more, but you know, it's not so bad training him then, because he should be, if you've done your job right here on this first board, and you've gotten him to around 1,000 or so, you got them both, him and Piccolo, around 1,000 or so. By the time you get done training with King Kai, you're either over 8,000 or 9,000, depending on how much you've trained Goku on this board, and how much luck you have with the few training nodes you'll get on Snake Way. Yeah, I can't quite. So we'll get a little bit over this way so I can show you the first node you really need to go to besides this healing one. This first special, I mean, it's one of the few side quest things you actually have to do in this game. Is, you may not have realized it, but Bulma was not with Master Roshi when you went to Master Roshi's house. Or at least she didn't have the radar with her. She was. She went to get the dragon radar. So you have to go to this little, like, temple looking like house thing over here on the left to get the board and pick that up from her. And only Goku can pick that up. Piccolo, she will not give it to Piccolo. She'll only give it to Goku. Of course, one space above that is another training node. So if you think you can make it over there without losing all your life, you can go ahead and do that and then train around that node. I just have a tendency to pick this first node because it's the closest to Kame House, and so you're most likely to get there and stay around there without dying too easily. Of course, with battles, usually you gain an item. Your more important battles, you can gain more items, but you'll gain an item or two, and depending on what items you get, we'll go through the items list a little bit later when I've got more of them to show you, and you can see what the items are, what they look like. You kind of got to I think the general idea of gameplay. Another thing I will do next time around is we'll look at the energy attacks. So we haven't looked at those yet. But I'm going to take some time, and before we do much else of that, I will level them up a little bit. But only just enough to start making it to visit Bulma and travel the board relatively easily, having enough items that I can heal myself along the way. As you can see, Goku's already kind of doing pretty badly here. He's down to 17 health, and he's about to be down to more or less. And you cannot lose either character. If either character dies before you get to Raditz, you lose the game. You got to keep both of them alive. Unfortunately, the game tends to like to go after your lowest health. I mean, you will get some attacks like we're getting now, where Piccolo just got attacked, but more often than not, it tends to target your weakest link. Yeah, I have no cards, I can't heal. So we're going to go ahead and, I know I said I'm going to say this for next round, but we're going to do this one now. Goku, since I'm going to use with Goku's, I might as well explain Goku's. This first one, for 7, which costs 7 energy, for those of you who are really familiar with the show, especially Dragon Ball, you know the fight where he fights Chi-Chi as an adult in the 23rd Tenkaichi tournament. He sends an energy just by punching, which knocks her off her feet and out of the ring. That's kind of what this is. His cost of 10 energy attack is a regular energy beam. His 15 cost of energy is his Kamehameha. And this one, I believe, is Solar Flare. We're not going to use Solar Flare. We're going to go ahead and use his Kamehameha on this guy. And Piccolo, take this one out, please. And hopefully... Yeah, that was bad. No one else attack Goku, please. Otherwise I lose. If that's the case, that's fine. I have a save already, and I can go back to it and pick up from there instead of starting all the way over, but we may yet survive this. Now, some of the games, unfortunately, I don't think this is one of them, but starting with Dragon Ball Z2, you know, your Saiyans, they get Zenkai boost built in the game. As far as I remember, this one does not do that. So if I were to go and use my Korin card on Goku now, I don't think he'd get any stronger. When you get to Dragon Ball Z2, whatever it's called, with Frieza, Goku would get a Zenkai boost if I were to heal him now, like this, in battle. If I were to use a healing thing outside of battle, it wouldn't do it. But in battle, it would heal him, and it would then make him stronger. Please, one of you, attack first and put him away. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So, we're going to end it with this battle. Woo! We got stronger. We got something. And it's Piccolo's move, so let's put Piccolo. He hasn't taken near as much, but we're going to heal him. You'll see, this is his current stats. And Princess Snake heals him Why it's Princess Snake, I have no idea. But it is. And alright, we're healed. Still don't think we're strong enough to make our way quite yet over to Bulma. So I'm going to go and level up a little bit. When I come back, I should be 500 something, maybe close to 600. Shouldn't need to go that far, but I'll be a little bit further along. Then we'll go grab the Dragon Radar from Bulma and start making our way towards Raditz and the end of this first ward. Please like, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching the video. I do appreciate it. I am just getting started. This is my first actual series for my channel as I take my new direction away from Pokemon decks, or not Pokemon, but Yu-Gi-Oh decks into my new content of Dragon Ball Z, Kingdom Hearts, and Doctor Who. Hopefully you like what you're seeing, and this is something unique and different, and we'll see what happens from here. Remember, never fear, Cinders is here, and we will see you next time when we pick up with our next chapter here in Dragon Ball Z Retro gameplay. Thank you for watching again.